Welcome to Money Talks, where you will learn how to keep money in your pocket and an even brighter smile on your face. I'm your host, Alyssa Wilson. Welcome to Money Talks. On this episode, we will be going over the difference between savings and checking accounts, as well as talking about the importance of emergency funds. So recently, my father has been stressing the importance of having enough money in my bank accounts. I'll admit it, I have a spending problem, especially when it comes to food and clothes. That is something that I have been working on throughout my time in college. He always told me that it is important to have money in your checking account for your day-to-day funds, money in your savings account for obviously large purchases you have been saving up to afford, and an emergency fund for anything ranging from medical problems, emergencies, all the way up to car troubles. So let's start off by defining the words. According to Wells Fargo's Information About Basic Finances, a checking account is an account that offers easy access to your money for day-to-day transactional needs, and it helps to keep your cash safe. So instead of walking around with cash that you would receive from your paycheck, perhaps, you would deposit that into the bank, you put it on your debit card in your checking account, and for your transactional needs, anything that you would need on a day-to-day basis, you would take out of your checking account. They define a savings account as the account that allows you to accumulate interest on funds you have saved for future needs. These savings accounts vary by service fees, interest rates, and other terms and conditions. So when picking a bank and looking for a savings account that will satisfy you, you really have to do your research and look at their service fees and see what's going to be different about one savings account versus the other at a different bank, and make sure you definitely read the fine print. It is very important that you do that. So it is essential that you have both of these types of accounts. You use your checking account as your primary spending account. Then you have your savings account as the one you use to accumulate your wealth. As college students, we may be saving up for something small like a new TV or a new laptop, or we may be saving up for larger purchases like a new car or a vacation for a holiday or for spring break perhaps. But the key to all of this is self-control. I cannot stress this enough. Self-control is very important when it comes to saving. If you continue to tap into your savings to pay for your daily transactional needs, it will be bad and you will deplete your savings. So make sure that you are practicing self-control. Some banks even give you the option to lock your savings account so that you cannot tap into them. So if you know that you're a person who has trouble saving your money and you know you're a person who's going to blow through your transactional day-to-day money and you're going to tap into your savings account, you need to make sure that you talk to your bank about locking your savings account so that you cannot pull money out of it unless it is an absolute emergency. CollegeInvestor.com, your emergency funds are also known as the Freedom Fund, the Rainy Day Fund, or my personal favorite, the OOPS account. I think the OOPS account is the perfect name for your emergency funds. We all know how we are in college, and we can get fully inundated with the things going on in our life, and we forget to do things like renew our car insurance or re-register our vehicle or pay for something that we really need. This is where these funds come in handy. The perfect way to do this is to treat it as a separate account. For me personally, I bank with Santander and Wells Fargo. So I have two separate direct deposits going into each bank account from both of my jobs just to keep money in both of these checking accounts. Anytime I get a large lump sum of money, I deposit majority of it into the savings of my Wells Fargo account and my Santander savings account. And I will build the Santander one into my OOPS account. Now, I'll be honest. All of these accounts are looking pretty low. But the beauty of it all will be watching them grow and become stable accounts that will help me in the future. Just a few things to keep in mind. Your savings account should be strict. Your emergency account should be fluid, and your checking account is your day-to-day money. And what I mean by your savings account should be strict, I simply mean you shouldn't be tapping into that for anything other than the purpose of what you're saving for. So if you're saving for that new car, you shouldn't be touching the money in your savings account at all until you have the money accumulated for that new car. Your emergency account can be fluid, and by that I mean, let's say you have $100 saved in your emergency account. Just there, just resting. Don't touch it because that's not the purpose of that account. but you run into an emergency and you get a ticket, a speeding ticket, and you need to pay it, you would then subtract that money, not from your savings, not from your day-to-day transactional checking account, but you would then take that money from your OOPS account or your emergency fund. So that's where it really comes in handy, and that's the purpose of having one, because life is going to hit you with some unexpected things and some unexpected fees, and you have to be able to combat them. Well, I hope you learned a lot and will make these adjustments to your accounts. On the next episode, we will be discussing the importance of budgeting and how to set one up. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Melissa Wilson. See you next time.